Oh, man.
Welcome to The Know, I'm Brian. God of War, it's been a hit with critics, and fans really like it too. Lots and lots of fans. The PlayStation 4 exclusive has sold more than 3.1 million copies in just its first 3 days. That makes it the fastest selling PS4 exclusive ever. That's a really impressive achievement. In a blog post, Sony said, "When we first revealed God of War less than 2 years ago, we knew we had something truly special. Fast forward to present day with the game's release, and we are humbled to see such positive reviews." Pretty cool to see, but not a complete surprise given how good the game is. Santa Monica Studio developed the game, and studio head Shannon Studstill said, "I would like to personally thank the millions of fans around the world who decided to embark on Kratos' latest adventure with us." Yeah, turns out if you make a good game, people will buy it. What a concept. Activision Blizzard stock dropped sharply yesterday after an earnings report scared investors, but it all turned out to be a big mistake, so everything's fine. It all started yesterday afternoon when the news service Dow Jones put out some incorrect headlines about the publisher's revenue. And the numbers, they were released ahead of their scheduled time, which kind of spooked investors. That caused the company's stock price to fluctuate. It just went up and down wildly. It ended up falling 5% before trading was halted, so they could figure out what the hell was going on. Oh, and it turned out the numbers were wrong. The news service mistakenly released earnings numbers from last year, not this year, so it was just a big mess. The stock rebounded today, though. It's up more than 3%, so their money's okay, don't worry. Back when the Xbox One first launched in 2013, Microsoft, it was more than happy to release numbers on how many consoles it was selling, but those days are definitely over. And even in 2018, the company still prefers to focus on stats like the amount of players on Xbox Live rather than how many consoles it's sold. It makes sense if your console isn't in first place. You probably wouldn't want to advertise that. But even when Microsoft talks about Xbox sales these days, they still don't get specific. In a recent blog post, Microsoft CMO for gaming Mike Nichols wrote, "Today we're witnessing a record-setting number of players playing at record levels and engaging in new ways. Xbox Live players are up 13%, and Xbox One sales are up 15% over the same period last year." Yeah, but he didn't give any exact numbers on how many Xboxes they've sold, so we just know that they went up from whatever they were. But that's a pretty convenient way of saying, yeah, we're just not going to get into it. So yeah, pretty safe bet, Xbox One still behind the PlayStation 4. Ubisoft gave us a look at the progress on Beyond Good and Evil 2 in a live stream yesterday. We got to see some melee combat along with ship navigation, as well as some interviews with some of the staff. They gave us some more behind the scenes tidbits. It was really cool. As for the game's combat, we saw some sword fighting along with Shani swinging her staff around. The game also has a heavy element of player choice, and since it's a prequel to the original 2003 game, you can jump right in. Even if you haven't played the first one, totally fine. In the stream, we also learned that there are about 120 people on the development team working on the game at Ubisoft Montpellier, and they're also working with other Ubisoft studios for additional help. And interestingly, they said they're also holding back some additional surprises for E3 next month, so stay tuned. It looks like the new game from the developer of Deadly Premonition finally got crowdfunded. The game, you might remember it, it's called The Good Life. It's the brainchild of developer Hidetaka Suhiro, aka Swery, and it reached its Kickstarter goal recently of more than $625,000. Actually, it went far past that. It raised more than $710,000 last time we checked. You might remember that Swery's White Owl Studios tried to get the game funded on Fig last year. That didn't happen, but Swery didn't give up. He vowed to try again, so it's really cool to see his persistence paid off. The game's kind of a unique idea. You play as a photojournalist named Naomi who moves from New York, quote, to a small British town called Rainy Woods in order to pay off her massive debt. Yikes, yeah, college debt, it's no joke. It's clearly a passion project for Swery, so it's cool to see that it'll actually happen. Nintendo's new president has said he wants to see more mobile games from the company. Looks like they're not wasting any time in doing that. The company has worked with developer Psy Games on a new IP called Dragalia Lost. And it looks like a classic story-based JRPG. It's out now for iOS and Android. It's in Japan, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. A Western release. It's expected later this year. Of course, you might remember Nintendo resisted putting out mobile games forever, but we've gradually started to see them come around with stuff like Super Mario Run and Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Definitely cool to see a new IP too. Being the good guy that he is, Chris Pratt was wishing his fellow Guardian of the Galaxy, Palm Clementieff, happy birthday on social media, and he may have let a little bit of info slip out. In his totally innocent Instagram post, he said, "Can't wait to start shooting Guardians Volume 3 with her next year." So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 looks like it's going to be filming next year. Maybe that wasn't an accident. He probably knew what he was doing. We knew James Gunn already was going to return to write and direct, and a Volume 3 was slated to happen in this new phase of the MCU, so not a giant shock, but now we got a better idea what the timeline is. How is this film impacted by the events of Infinity War? Well, I guess we'll find out when Avengers 4 hits theaters next summer. Before Taika Waititi blew all of us away with Thor Ragnarok, he created one of the funniest movies of the last 10 years, a vampire mockumentary called What We Do in the Shadows. The movie is so good, FX wanted to make a TV show from it and ordered a pilot earlier this year. Apparently the pilot delivered the goods because FX, it's now ordered a full season. We're looking at 10 half-hour episodes that'll air mid-2019. While there will be vampires, the show doesn't appear to be carrying over any of the cast from the movie. It also relocates the mundane modern-day monsters from New Zealand to New York City. Chin up though, because Waititi and Jermaine Clement, you might remember in Flight of the Conchords, they're also working on a feature film sequel with the inventive title Werewolves that'll follow the werewolves, not swearwolves pack introduced in the film. J.J. Abrams' Bad Robots is developing its own superhero movie. Everybody's getting into the superhero game these days. As with everything Bad Robot, very little is known about this project other than the title, which is The Heavy, and that it's supposed to be, quote, a subversive take on the superhero genre. The project is set up at Paramount, and the studio's in talks with director Julius Avery, who just made the R-rated World War II horror film Overlord for Bad Robot. The first footage from Overlord recently screened at CinemaCon, and the crowd was impressed by the surprisingly gory stuff on display. So does this mean The Heavy's gonna have a horror edge to it? Anything's possible when it comes to Bad Robot's mystery box titles. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the aim is to get The Heavy filmed by the end of the year, which means we're likely gonna see it sometime in 2019. Last up, if you haven't changed your Twitter password in a while, you might want to do that. The company said that they found a bug in their system that could leave passwords exposed. Twitter explained the issue in a blog recently, saying, "When you set up a password for your Twitter account, we use technology that masks it so no one at the company can see it. We recently identified a bug that stored passwords unmasked in an internal log." They went on to say that they fixed the bug and that their investigation shows no indication of a breach or misuse by anyone, which is great, but yeah, be on the safe side, change that password and turn on the two-step authentication. Be safe out there. Anyway, that's all the news we got for today. Got any comments on these stories? Let us know below, and like and subscribe. And for all your news from every corner of the internet, be sure to like this video. If you're new around here, subscribe to The Know. Ubisoft gave us a progress. The game, you might remember, it's called The Good Life. It's the brainchild of the game. It's definitely a unique idea. You play as a photojournalist named Naomi who moves to New York. James Gunn was returning to write and direct, and a Volume 3 was slated to happen in this new phase of the